welcome to the Must Love Yarncast.
We're back.
It's June 29th.
Yes, it
Here
is.
we are, and this one will air on July 4th. So
Happy 4th.
Happy 4th if
Hope you're doing something
States.
fun.
Happy barbecue, parade, fireworks, all the things.
Not working.
Not working. Many of us do not have on July 4th. So welcome. This is a yarn cast about yarn and knitting and sometimes crocheting and sometimes some other tangential fiber arts that we bring to you from our yarn shop in Shelburne, Vermont, where you're going to be able to purchase or find a lot of the things that we're going to talk about today. And you can find the store out on all social media as Must Love Yarn. So, Indeed. And I'm Angela.
I'm Jen.
And you can find me on social media, Instagram and Ravelry as Junior Bird Kid. Oh, and Blue Sky. I always forget about Blue Sky.
Well, I think it's not quite as active.
It's not. It's a little active. I try to post over there.
I should actually clarify. I'm not as active over there, only because I have to repeat myself, which, and also I forget sometimes.
Right.
But so I'm on Instagram as.
But who are you?
What?
Who are you?
Jennifer.
Okay. I think I
said my name at the beginning. I did.
All right.
Or Jen. You can call me anything related to Jennifer except for Jenny. So I am on Instagram as Jennifer_Arbuckle, Ravelry as J Arbuckle, and Blue Sky as J-Arbuckle, I want to say. I can't quite remember.
And we put them down
yes.
on the screen, and also they're linked in show notes.
And I also own Bobolink Yarn, and tiny little update is hopefully by the time this airs, my website will be back up again. There's a temporary version of it up now, but so I also monitor all of those Bobolink Yarns related things. And good news, for a while I had sort of lost access to my domain, but so I bought another one that's the same, only minus the S at the end, and now I have both.
Awesome.
Which is great.
Awesome.
Sometimes it pays to wait and procrastinate to have the universe come back into alignment.
It does. Sometimes it does. So we like to start our yarn cast with our Yarncast Pick. And so the way this works is we're going to show you some yarns. We've decided to go with one company.
All of the offerings we have for socks.
Yep, it's sock related because we do have a traveling sock along that's going on right now. So we thought we'd show some sock yarns. And normally it's like 2 weeks with the coupon code that we give you, but we're basically going to do this till the next Yarncast airs. So the code will be good from July 4th to August 1st. So basically the month of July to purchase this yarn.
If you aren't me, you could knit several pairs of socks in that time.
Maybe for sure.
And probably can. I can.
Yeah, it depends on what I've got going on and how much.
Long they are, who they're for.
Yeah, on the go knitting I'm doing, but yeah totally. So we have pulled what we have for the Lena du Nord sock yarns. So we have 4 different types of yarn from them, and all of them are going to qualify for the Yarncast Pick. So we've got Summer Sock, which is this one right here, and this guy.
Yep.
So these are cotton. This is the cotton line.
Cotton nylon mix.
Yep. These. So these normally retail for $19.99. So these are included. The Summer Sock is included in this. We have Eclectic Sock.
This one.
And that one.
And this one.
So this is sort of a wool nylon blend. Those retail for $23.99.
Of course, they put the
label on the inside. Of course.
It is 75%.
You can see the nice striping. that
wool.
these do.
Yeah, 75-25. Yeah. I was going to say it helps to see the
picture.
Yeah, so that is a striping one as well.
Yep. We have art sock.
We have 4 colors in that. This lovely rainbow one. It's
which
cool.
is like a stripey kind of deal.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
those retail for $24.99 in the art sock.
Yeah, I love the colors in this one.
And then we also have gradient sock. So we have 3 colors of that.
This is a lovely one. It's funny. It looks really kind of boring or whatever, but when you get up close, you can see there's so much color in there.
It's a nice little gradient. And the gradient sock retails for $23.99. So we will give you a code, which is going to be YP Nord.
Sure.
NORD.
Yeah.
And that will be good for 10% off any of the Lana du Nord sock yarn that we have in stock.
If you're coming off of Rainbow Month, as we are, by the time this airs, I guess we'll be into July 4th, but still, I just love this one. It's so pretty.
Summer sock, eclectic sock, art sock, and gradient sock, all
and of course, you can use these for things that are not socks as well.
That's true. That is true. YP Nord for the month, basically the month of July, you get 10% off in store and online. If you're in store, make sure you tell them at checkout the code because it doesn't automatically apply. So you have to be, as we've discussed before, in the know to get that discount. That's right. That's right.
So my big pile of finished objects that I was going to have today has 1 entry, which I probably finished before we even aired the last podcast, if I remember correctly.
I think that is correct.
But I blocked it yesterday. It's terrible. So I finished my, and it's funny, I blocked it and it was very flat, and now it's starting to curl back up again. This is the Fighting EB scarf that Casapinka designed, and it's let me remember, I think it's all Greek to me. It's a fiber stash colorway. Let me find my little pile here.
So that is both a FO and what you were wearing.
Oh yes, sorry, I forgot. I went too far.
It's all right.
I did. Yeah, it's called, some of them are in Greek, which is a really fun colorway. It's just got a lot of little colors in it. It's a really pretty little scarf, I have to say. And having worn it for the first time, I was afraid when I was doing it that it wouldn't be long enough, but it actually is long enough. So to go around, which I was not anticipating because it looked very short until I blocked it. So
nice.
Yeah, super fun little knit.
So I pulled out a 9-year-old FO.
Almost exactly.
Yes, almost exactly.
9 years and 10 days.
This is Featherweight by Hannah Fettig. This might have been one of the first alongs that Kelly and I did.
I think so.
With the Yarncast, because I was looking at project pictures, and if you want to see a very pregnant me, the FO picture is me probably about 8 or 9 days before my daughter was born. So,
right.
Yeah. So it was right in that June time frame. So it's a cute little non-buttonable, so it's not designed to be closed. It's more just to provide some warmth, like if you're in and out of air conditioning or a little bit of warmth in those in-between seasons. I made mine short-sleeved. The pattern, I think, calls for it to be long-sleeved. And I can't remember if it actually, I think it was meant to be striped. I striped mine. I know Kelly striped hers.
Oh, I thought the yarn did then.
No, it's 2 different yarns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a solid yarn and a variegated yarn. For this one, but yeah,
that makes sense because the stripes are very even.
Yeah.
Which would probably not happen perfectly around arms and bodies and whatever else. Yeah.
So I also knit mine on a lace weight yarn, and the pattern calls for fingering. So
I thought it had 2 weights, maybe.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know why it's all coming back to me now, but For what it's worth,
Yeah.
I had a weird memory where I was like, what is it called again? Neither one of us could remember the name, and then it just surfaced out of the depths of who knows what.
Yeah, right? It happens like that sometimes. So anyway, yeah, it was one of those days where it's maybe warm, maybe not warm.
It might rain, it might not.
I don't know what's happening. So, and I needed a hand knit to wear today. So this is it.
Yeah.
This is it. I do have one. I have one finished
So we'll go
object.
right into finished objects since I've already done mine.
Yeah, I have one finished object.
I feel much better that you only have one.
I know,
just
right?
one? That makes me... I was so sure that you were going to come with like 12.
No, just one. It's been a lot. So these are my riff on... So they're not like, look, we still have string attached, like mostly because I couldn't find scissors after I did the Kitchener.
Funny story about that. Go ahead.
Yeah. So you guys remember the last Yarncast? I was like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna knit a tube and I'm gonna do this new heel for the sock exploration by Denise DeSantis. Well, I actually went and pulled the pattern, and it's not an afterthought heel, but I had already knit like a huge, really tall leg, and I was like, I'm not gonna rip that out. So I have really tall. These are really tall leg socks, which is fine. I don't really care. But the sock exploration heel was interesting. I will have to wear these for a while to see.
So you didn't do it?
I did do the heel.
I thought you said it, but
it's not an afterthought heel.
But you made it an afterthought.
No.
Oh, okay.
When I realized it wasn't an afterthought heel, I had knit this much of the leg, and
So you did a different heel on these socks?
No, I did that heel. I just have a really tall leg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you... Okay.
Yeah, really tall leg. See how tall that leg is? That's, like, ridiculously tall.
No, I do. It's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, I thought you would already knit the tube, so I couldn't figure out how it could be an afterthought if it wasn't an afterthought.
I was working on the tube, and at some point was like, I should probably check that pattern.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You were going this way.
I was going this way.
The only time I knit socks, which is very rarely, I go toe up. So in my brain, I was like,
it was.
But you were already past the...
No. It was top down.
Now I get it.
I probably should have ripped back to like here, but I couldn't be bothered to do that. So we have long, really tall socks, which are probably going to be just scrunchy socks because I have big calves. So really tall socks are kind of hard to wear.
And that's a Woolen and Nosh colorway?
It's Woolens and Nosh colorway. It's the Muses. It's one of her sock clubs from this spring.
I like the sort of little gradients in the
I
colors.
do. I love the gradient colorways.
Yeah.
So both socks are done. And I did wind up yarn for the next pair, which is also another Woolens and Nosh colorway. This is the one that just came, called Some Summertime.
I saw that posted. I like the colors.
Super fun. And I'm trying to decide if I want to make another of the Laura Nelkin Shorty socks out of this, because I really like those with the little tab in the back. Or if I want to do something else. So I don't know. Stand by. But I will need to cast those on pretty soon because I need to have some socks on the needle.
Yeah.
I could also do a Laura Nelkin Shorty sock. Well, maybe not. That would be really pushing it because I made those legs so tall. But I don't know. Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
Like you end up with these weird little bits and bobs with this self-striping yarn. You're like, what do I do with this?
You make a sea glass sweater, or you do something funky like that.
I know. That's what I need to do. Pull all of them.
Yes. So
that's it for finished objects. This is a pair of socks. It's really sort of depressing, maybe.
If I had knit more this week, I would have probably caught back up. But so two things happened for me. One, I was gone Arizona for me, I left really early on Wednesday morning, didn't get home until really late on Sunday night, so that was almost a week's worth of knitting, and I had a plan for what I was going to bring my Getty sweater with me, but then I thought, it's so bulky, it's just, it's at the point where I didn't really want to drag it with me, so then I brought Opus, my little shawl, because it was the only thing that was nearby that was it's kind of a mindless pattern once you get going, and but it also had 3 balls of yarn. So this was obviously either a very late night or very early trying to get to the airport decision. So of course, where I sort of shifted gears and brought the one thing instead of the other. So I get partway there, and I was like, oh, I don't have my little knitting bag of notions because it was in the other bag that I thought I was bringing with me. So, and I have since decided that I didn't need, it's 4 colors. And I since decided that I probably didn't need to be cutting the yarn. Anyway, it's a complicated thing. But, so I'm in the, I have an American Express, and I was flying Delta, so I can go into the Sky Club, which is great, especially because I had my layovers each time were like 3.5 hours, so it was awesome. So I'm in there, and I'm surreptitiously stealing my breakfast knife that has serrated edges, plastic, mind you. And I thought, well, that'll work. It does not work. It worked fine, but one of the yarns has silk in it, and I was like, why is this not working on this yarn? I was like, oh, because it has silk in it.
And I'm just going to go out on a limb and say there's no ability to buy even little tiny scissors.
I went looking at like the
airport.
health and beauty aids section in a couple little shops.
Can you buy nail clippers? Because nail clippers would work too.
I thought about that, and of course I didn't bring them with me because
I
was gone for 4 days, whatever.
Right.
And anyway, it was fine. But it was one of those weird things where there was like this moment of panic about oh my God, I don't have my knitting bag with me. My real little, it's like, my little tiny pouch of like the things.
Which is why I
the
have
critical things, the tape measure.
Which is why I have like 5 of them. They all,
as do I have like 100.
In this basket.
Yes, but I've been, I had put that aside again after knitting on it a little bit. And anyway, so it was all fine. But yes, so I have 2 works in progress with me today.
I have 2 works in progress as well.
All right.
They were both the ones that I was boasting about last time that I was gonna get them done.
Absolutely finished. Yeah, this sweater is one of them. So it's in my lovely little Matterport bag. So it is pretty close. So a couple things. So this is where's my
Getty tea.
Yes, for those of you that for some reason have not seen this. It's a Tana Slabelli.
Right? I mean, I could have worn Getty tea today. I don't know why I forgot that I had that one up there to put on. I don't know what's going on.
The Getty tea.
My brain this morning.
Well, I had the same thing when I was getting dressed. So one of the things that happened is that I tried it on at the point, when it was 10 inches below the armhole, which is where she says you should start knitting the bottom rib, and I was like, that is way too short. It's like here, which is not my favorite destination. It was a little bit lower, but it was not long enough because I didn't want this to be cropped. It doesn't need to be like a tunic, but I didn't want it to be cropped either. Right. And so, of course, it's been chewing through yarn because
this pattern chews through yarn. I had the same problem. I had to come by another skein of yarn.
Yeah, I added one. And I have another one in my bag that I'm probably going to need. So I am so close. The back ribbing is almost done, just about done. Yep. So then I just need the front ribbing and then just the edges.
Right, the armholes and the neck. And the neckline one will chew up more yarn than you think too.
There's another skein over there if I have to grab it. And I've been, because this yarn has some variation in it. I've been alternating skeins all the way down. I'm not doing it for the ribbing, but really, honestly, I mean, I've already added one, and this is what I have, which is clearly not enough. Yep. So, yeah.
Yeah, I had the same.
So I'll be curious. And again, I lengthened it by 2 inches, 2 solid inches, because when I tried it on, this is where they think that you should have stopped to start doing the rib. And I was like, nope. That is not going to be flattering.
I think that's also the sweater that I knit on the wrong needle size too.
Right.
Because I saw the ribbing needle. Yeah, I knit it on needles that were too small, and I still was running out of. Anyway, it was crazy.
So I have tried it on, and it fits nicely actually, which is nice. And
awesome.
She suggested that it have a lot of ease, and this has some ease in it, but it's not. I didn't choose 8 inches of positive ease. I chose a couple inches because I don't like things that are they just make me look ginormous. Yeah. So, but anyway, so progress is being made, if it hadn't been so super hot, so I didn't take this with me to Arizona, so I lost a week there, and then it was so hot when I got back, I didn't really, been reading a lot, not a lot of knitting.
Yeah.
But.
So I did a good job of powering through the body color work.
I thought that was done when I saw it folded up.
It's not. It doesn't have.
Oh, it looks beautiful.
It doesn't have sleeves. It's gonna be short sleeves, so those will be little cap sleeves, so it'll be fast.
It's beautiful.
Thank
Look
you.
how pretty it is.
So the bottom hem is a folded. It's a folded hem.
Oh yeah, that's a nice detail.
And which is fine, but
it's got a little edge on it.
It's got a little picot edge with the turn.
Yeah.
But I opted to do the sewn version of it because I was having a really hard time wrapping my head around the picking up and knitting together. And I could have done it. It was night, and I just occasionally something will shift when I do it that way, and so things don't line up, and so I opted to sew it. So it took me some time.
It looks really nice
with it sitting there and it took a while to sew because it's it's a lot around.
Yeah.
So that I finished that part, and then I was starting to weave in the ends. So I have.
You didn't braid them?
No, I didn't braid them. So I'm up to here. So I've gotten that whole section done.
That's like 8 days of weaving in advance.
Yeah. So I have some more. I think I'm gonna weave in all the ends before I
done.
Knit the
then you'll
caps,
be down to like 2.
Yeah, then I'm almost done. So this is very close. That's not a huge amount of knitting left with the sleeves.
It's so pretty.
It will look 100 times better after being blocked because of how much.
But it looks really good now.
But it looks good now. But it will definitely, some of these stitches will lay better.
Yeah.
But it is. It looks so pretty, so fun,
it's beautiful,
and kind of happy. Really,
you should be. It's lovely.
And I have never done this much color work before on a sweater, so I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, when you think about each one of these being separate color,
a separate color each leaf,
rather than just something like
that's a gradient. Yeah. So this is mini skeins and.
Hence 85 million ends to weave in.
This is why all ends, but I'm really delighted with it. I think it's beautiful.
It's worth it sometimes.
So this is an Eleanor Mortensen pattern. It's Sleeping Beauty.
And it has a rolled neck, is that?
It does have a rolled neck, yeah. So the neck's done. She's releasing a new pattern in July, and she's done a collaboration with Junction Fiber Mill. So they're gonna have yarn available, and they're doing it as like their Rhinebeck sweater. I've seen pictures of it on social media. It's lovely, and I may very well be inclined to just buy the kit because the colors are it's like kind of like a grayish brownish base with like fall colors from some of their making tracks. It's gorgeous. Another color work sweater. So
yeah.
That may be in the cards. I might take that with me in August when I go if I do that.
Yeah.
Pull the trigger on that one.
I am trying to think ahead to what I'm going to bring with me when I go to Maine.
So close.
I know. That's how I feel about the green one. A couple nights more done.
Yeah.
So.
Pretty excited. Can't wait
to
wear this. Though, because there's so much color work, this is a really hefty sweater.
Yeah.
So it'd be for...
It's like that sea glass is heavier than you would think.
So heavy.
But it's really nice. I'll tell you, there's a few days in the summer where you couldn't wear it for sure because it's just too much. Yeah. But with air conditioning and everything else, I mean, I wear the sea glass from like March until like November-ish, depending on... Yeah. So it's nice to have a little extra heft.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, so this is real close. Not quite there, but real close. So close.
Yeah.
Some of those little finishing details sometimes take more time than
that's what I meant. The weaving in of those ends. I mean, there's like 1,000 of them.
Yeah. I was working on it last night, and I was getting into a rhythm, and it was like 10:30, and I was like, I need to go to bed.
That's how it was when I was doing that temperature blanket.
Yeah.
Weaving in all the ends, and I knit in a bunch of them as I went, but there were still like a million.
Yeah. So I'll finish those, and then I'll get the sleeves done. There's a little bit of color work on the sleeves. So you do this same sort of detail here on the next round of the next few rounds for the sleeves. And then the sleeves actually call for a similar like hem to them. I'm trying to decide if I want to do that for the sleeves. I probably will, just because I think
that'll be
looks
really
nice.
pretty. The little picot edge is really pretty.
Yeah, for sure.
And somehow it's a really nice finish for that sweater.
Yeah, no, I think it makes sense given the colorwork pieces to it. So yeah, that's been the primary. And then when that one was at the point where I was waiting for the hem to get sewn, and I needed some decent light, and because it's blue yarn, and it's like this, that, and
that's a daytime project for sure.
It was, and I was working on it yesterday afternoon. I have the Summer Sorrel, which is now, and it's miles of stockinette stitch. So, but what else do you have?
So this is what I brought with me to Arizona, and as I had in my awesome little Ruth Bader Ginsburg bag that I believe you gave to me.
Yep, I think so.
So, as usual, this conference is the one that I knit at a lot, and everybody's always like, what are you working on? What are you working on? I don't know what they're going to do without me there to entertain people.
Right.
But, so this is Opus. I worked on this a long time ago, and then I brought it back in May, I think, when I went to Maine. I dug it out of it. I went looking for something else and found this. And so
awesome.
It's just progress, you know.
Yeah.
I was here, and so I did all of that. While
I love those colors together.
I know. So I'm kind of motivated. I think this is actually going to go to Maine with me because it's contained in this bag, even though there's 4 colors, and it's, as long as I put a little notions pouch in here with scissors and everything, although there are scissors at the cottage, but still, it's kind of good mindless beach knitting. It looks complicated, but it's not, as long as you keep track of where you are. And when you change colors. So, and a lot of it is slip stitch, obviously. So, you know, so you just have to be careful to
not got it too tight.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see it when it's really blocked, because it looks very bunchy right now. But I've been really stretching it out, and it'll loosen up when it blocks. So yeah, I made progress, and now you know how it is when you put something away for a long time, then you're sort of like into it again. So it's kind of good mindless beach knitting, and you know, sitting around in the evening knitting.
Nice.
So
nice.
And also it would be nice to finish it.
Right. Right.
Well, I think about what's next, even though I have 1,000 whips. Although I will say this too, I did pull out my Argyle vest for those who are like, what happened to that? And I was trying on the green sweater, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try this on as well, because I was saying that the front and back, where it says to knit them different lengths, so the armhole has a weird jog in it, and the straps in the front felt weird to me, but really the seam is in the back, not in the middle. And so I tried it on the other day. I sort of clipped it all together and tried it on, and it
was okay.
Yeah. And it actually fits pretty well.
Awesome.
So once I sit down with that again, I just need to do the duplicate stitch and then just the neckline and the edges. So
awesome.
By the end of July.
Okay. I mean, we're hearing some boasting happening on this podcast, Yarncast, right now. So we'll see, because I boasted at the last one and I'm not there. But
I'm not saying Opus will be done, because it's kind of a long term. It goes on for a while, but
so this is the other bad boy that I was like, this will totally be done.
Miles of Stockinette is Miles of Stockinette.
I'm about 9 inches in, which is
that's good.
There's a lot of stitches on these needles. I'm intentionally made this somewhat baggy,
so it could be drapey.
So it would be more drapey. And I just got to the point where I was adding in the second skein, so I'm alternating now.
You are? Yeah.
I am for this one.
I'm just anxious. That's why I did it with the green one. Like
there, you could see a little bit up here. You'll
have less pooling if you do that.
There's enough texture up here that I don't think it'll be as noticeable, but it would definitely be noticeable down in the stockinette land. So I'm alternating skeins right now. Yeah. Some 9 inches. I'm probably.
Yeah, it's kind of a pain.
11-ish, maybe.
It's kind of a pain to alternate, but it's worth it.
Oh, it totally is. Yeah. Particularly when you have one on like your lemonwood thing, so it's gotten kind of interesting. Speaking of lemonwood, I will mention they're running a sale right now for the month of July, it appears. So all of their stuff is on sale if anybody's been eyeballing them and to get one. But anyway, they're fun. I I like them for certain projects. It doesn't really work for all projects, but they're
That's how you're keeping the skeins separate.
a little bit, yeah. And then when I finish this one, I'll pop this one onto this thing. So, but yeah, I mean, I could pop it on. I have extras, more of these. I could pop it on now, and maybe I'll do that just because. So, when you get to this point, you are knitting. This is the inside. So
right. I was
the summer sorrel
looks
stuff
different than I thought it did.
is on the inside because it's the purled side is out for
Reverse
the bulk of first stockinette for the bulk of the sweater, but they don't make you purl for the entire body length. You're just knitting in the round, so the sweater is inside out. But not too much to do on the sleeves once the body is done because they're probably just the ribbing piece for that. So and then once those two sweaters are done, I don't know. I don't have to figure out what sweater's up next.
Yeah.
Don't know.
I have so much. Yeah, that's to you.
I have a few
so many choices at home.
I have a few hats I need to like deal with too. So, well, all right, we can move this guy back up. I love how we just move things back from the simmering to the finished object pile.
Or whip. Let's call it whip first.
Yeah. Whip pile. I probably should also cast on a gnome. Like, I haven't done that. I haven't even got to that point because we are doing that. Everything related to gnome alongs. What did we call that? Texture corset along. Gotta be a gnome along. And the traveling sock of summer.
Yeah.
So that's fun. All right, so what do we got going on right now?
So, first of all, Tour de Fleece starts tomorrow.
Yes.
So we brought over some roving to show you, just to be a little inspirational. So we have a bunch of stuff from all kinds of different folks. So we have multiple colors from Kingdom Fleece and Fiber. I'm not going to take them out because they're tied off, but we have like 5 or 6 different great colors from her. And this is all pin drafted Coopworth cross. And this is an odds and ends. So there's a wide variety of choices from her. We have this is from Dillner Hillside Farm. Again, we have a bunch of different choices from her. I just love the colors in this one, so I grabbed this one. So this is 40% mohair, 60% wool blend. And the little sheeps who have donated are on the labels, so that's kind of fun. We have a bunch of different options from the Singing Spindle Spinnery. So we have like some Easter egg little bits, and then we have lots of bigger chunks of options from her, including like, just some natural bumps that people can use. So this is, the white is 100% alpaca, and the gray is 99% wool and 1% alpaca, so super soft and lovely. So we have lots of different options from the Singing Spindle here. And then we have, I'll pull them out in a second, but so many fun choices from Dirty Girl Yarns. So we have many colors and options. Some are bright and super, super fun. Some are a little bit more muted, but also fun. These are all 4-ounce braids, and they may vary.
Yeah, she uses different.
So this is Tarhi, this is Falkland. We've got...
She has some with silk in them.
Yeah, this is a merino and silk option. Look at the colors in that one.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
This is, and again, I just pulled a handful of them. This is Rambouillet, super soft. And then I have one more. And again, we have every color in the rainbow, and they're sometimes all together and sometimes not. This is another Rambouillet one, which is also fun. So, yeah, you can see the silk in this one is really fun.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, so come check them out if you need something to get you spinning. For the month of July, pretty much. I think it runs through starts on the 5th, the Tour de Fleece, and it runs through the
27th, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say 27th or 29th, but yeah, somewhere in there.
Yep.
So
The Great Northern Yarn Haul would have started.
not yet. Oh, right.
Yes.
Sorry.
Because it's July
I forget.
4th, so that's
Kicks off
running
Wednesday.
the entire month of July
Mhm.
this year. We've made some announcements about trunk shows, spinning demos, and other things that are happening at our store, but other places on the Yarn Hall will
Yeah.
have their own events. So, check out the list of participating stores and farms and see what they've got going on, and come, check out those different entities that are participating.
26.
Should be fun.
We have 26 participants this year.
Nice.
And our trunk shows, one is an indie dyed, local indie dyer trunk show,
Mhm.
and the other is a farm yarn focused trunk
Yep.
show. So
Yep.
super fun.
We also have our Stitch and Pitch coming up on August 2nd with the Vermont Lake Monsters. We have the link for where you go to buy tickets for that. That should also be fun. I am very sad to miss it. I will not be here. I will be on an airplane. But if I was not on an airplane, I would certainly be here, because the ballpark is one of my favorite places to knit. I will take it to the Mariners game though. So. We also did prizes for the Stitch Every Day in May. So if you didn't see that on our social media, maybe go take a look, though I will separately message the people that won for those. And thanks to everybody that participated. We had a great time seeing the posts every day for the people that were playing via social media. So that was really awesome. We are running a few alongs. The Botanical Along, I closed that thread, and we should pull prizes for that right now. And the prize that somebody wins is right here. As you can tell, we are not overly organized, but we are doing it anyway. All right, so the FO thread, oops, that's the wrong thread. Can't. Wah, wah, wah. All right, 2 through 22 is what we're working on here. So let's go random 2 through 22. All right.
Let me guess.
Verify.
13.
Well, let's see. 2 through 22. Number 12.
I was
Let's
off by
go
one.
see who post 12 is. Says we are in
She
it
has
to
1,000
win it.
things open on her
I
phone.
do. That will make your head explode. What did I say? Number 12?
12.
Number 12. Okay. So it's one of our store employees. But it's she made a very cute sweater. Let's show it, and then we'll repull.
Yeah. Sorry, folks.
Sorry.
You're not eligible.
We should probably say that, but we didn't. But thanks for participating.
Yeah,
so
it's
very
beautiful.
cool. Let's go try 2. Try number 2. So this is what happens when we do this live. Post number 8. Let's go see who that was. It's probably on the first page. Post. Oh, we are on the first page. 7, 8. Jane's.
Oh, yay.
Little Bud's cardigan.
Oh, isn't
that
that
is
cute?
so adorable.
Super cute.
You are our winner.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we should have your address.
I think we do.
So we'll just get that out to you. If something's changed, let us know. But congratulations, Jane from Peachum.
Lots of people are named Jane, but Jane is a good friend of the store, and so we know where you
Jane
are.
from Peachum. We know where to find you. And we will get you your prize. So thank you so much for participating. Your sweater, your cute little sweater is gorgeous.
And thanks to everyone else, too, for
Who
participating.
participated. So we are trying to stay on task here with doing prizes in a timely fashion. So when we Yarncast next, we will be pulling for the textured torso along. And I think that's it, because everything else closes after that.
Yeah.
So there's still time to participate in the textured torso along.
Get your entries in.
Yep.
You have a month-ish.
We also have the Gotta Be a Gnome along, which is running through August, most of the month of August, and the Traveling Sock of Summer which is running at the same time. So those will get pulled at the August Yarncast that we do towards the end of August. So get your stuff in. We can't wait to see what you do. And then we'll come up with some new, should we do a Ravelry sweater along? And, people could, because that's kind of a thing. But if we start it like in August, that's a couple of months for folks. They have time to
a Rhinebeck sweater on.
What did I say?
Ravelry.
Oh
I was like, what does she mean? Where is she going with this?
No, Rhinebeck. Yeah, I can't talk today.
Sure, why not?
Okay. So I think...
If I felt like... I have mixed feelings about the people who all make the same sweater.
Yeah.
And the big groups of people that make them. Whether we should pick a pattern. I feel like we have an eclectic mix of people here, so I feel like we should just do Rhinebeck sweater, period.
Let's do Rhinebeck sweater.
Yeah.
And I think it could be a sweater, it could be a tee, it could be a
What are you
vest.
wearing to Rhinebeck on Saturday?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah.
And then it's whatever you're wearing.
Yeah.
Okay. That's our riff
And
on
if
the
you're not
Rhinebeck
going to
sweater.
Rhinebeck, but you're kind of knitting along, that still works. Right?
Yep.
You don't have to be present to...
No.
Yeah.
Just, I think the way we'll do the FO thread for that is we'll do an FO thread, and then I'll set up a third thread, which is post yourself wearing whatever it is on that Saturday. If you're at Rhinebeck, great. If you're not at Rhinebeck, whatever. But you wearing your whatever out in the wild on that Saturday. So we'll pull two different kinds of prizes that for that one.
Yeah, let's do that.
If you finish whatever you're wearing, and two, if you're wearing it.
Does it have to be finished?
No, because if you don't finish it, you could. Lots of people wear half finished things.
Yes,
so
right. If you're down a sleeve.
Yeah.
Or you haven't quite finished the bind off on the bottom.
Right.
It's got threads hanging out of it.
Yeah, that's fun too.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll pull prizes for a wear your object for that Rhinebeck Saturday. So you can post those in. Okay.
Right. So we will pull from so the two pulls for prizes are actually finishing your object.
Yep.
And then wearing it.
Right.
On Saturday.
Yep.
Wherever you may be.
And that's for, I think, October 16th or 17th. Let me just look at the calendar real quick. So we have a date. 18th. We are all wrong.
I knew it wasn't 16. I knew 16 was earlier in the week for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's do it.
That'll be fun. Yeah.
It'll be fun.
August 1st, is that what you said?
We'll start it August 1st. Yep. Just because we've got some other stuff going on. I mean, realistically, whips are allowed. So if you start ahead of time, nobody really cares. And we don't monitor it that closely. So even if you did start it ahead of time,
someone might care, but we don't.
Nobody's checking.
Which is the important part of this.
So if you already had something started, just don't post about it until like the August 1st start date. That's all I can say. That's all.
Yeah.
We're not.
Or just do it on the
We're
down
not
low.
pretty strict about that stuff because we
care.
just really want people to participate and have fun.
Exactly.
So that's where we're at.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this one will end. I'll make it end October 20th. So I will close threads before we leave for that weekend. Just give people some time to post.
Yeah.
In the thread, but I'll lock those threads on October 20th. So.
Is that the Monday?
That's the Monday. Yep. Okay. So don't forget to post.
Or thereabouts.
Thereabouts. Yeah. I've been trying to be better about locking threads when things end.
Okay. So that's a lot. That's a lot of stuff for the summer. And
Yeah.
plus you've got your own stuff in there.
Right. Traveling, sock along, got to be a gnome along, and coming soon. What are you wearing to Rhinebeck along?
Yeah.
Notice it doesn't have to be a sweater. Could be a scarf. Could be a hat. Could be fingerless mitts. Could be just, what are you wearing? Could be socks. Just, whatever.
Something that's knitted or crocheted.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I guess.
Or woven, I guess. I don't know.
Whatever.
You can do whatever you want.
Be creative. We're loosey-goosey with this stuff. So, but.
Indeed.
Yeah, I think we're at the end. We do need to go because we have some other stuff to take care of before the store opens. But
And then we have to open that store.
Then we have to open the store. Jen has to open the store. I'm gonna go grocery shopping. Doesn't that sound exciting? But thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us. And we appreciate all of you. We know there's lots of options out there and lots of things that pull our attention. So for all of you that are sticking with us and continuing to watch, we really appreciate the participation. So
yes, we do. So, and join us. Come see us on the Yarn Hall. Come stay in touch.
Exactly. So
off we go. One more month.
Till next month.
Right. Happy 4th.
Enjoy your July, and we'll see you all soon.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Happy almost end of June.
Yeah.
And it will be July 4th when this posts.
I can't believe a month ago we were like, oh gosh, it's going to be a whole month before we do this again.
I know, and it feels like yesterday.
Yeah.
And also
fast.
I feel like, remember I was
big pile of finished objects.
Boasty. I'm going to have both these sweaters finished. I'm going to have all this stuff. It's going to be a month. Guys, June.
It was busy.
Was wild.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Good intentions, but very hot weather. Several trips. Not as much knitting on those trips. Were you
here for that weather?
Well, you might remember I was in Arizona. It was 115 degrees every day when I was in Arizona.
But it was a dry 115.
Can I just say something? Dry,
matter.
hot, I don't really care. Does not matter. It's hot. You can't really go outdoors. I mean, people were golfing and swimming, God bless them, but there's no shade, so I cannot be in the direct sun like that because the skin is not.
So we had 2 days here.
But I came home for that.
You were here for that? Okay. So we had 2 days here, which I can only describe as holy crap, what is happening? Global warming. So some of you follow me on social media, and so I posted on Monday. Tuesday I'd melted too much and couldn't be bothered to post anything. I think we had like an air temperature of like 96 and a feels like temperature of 109. And then the next day I actually got a feels like temperature of 114. So
it does not actually feel that. Just for the record, having experienced that the week before, but
it was really gross.
It was wet,
and super humid, very swampy, very like you go outside and you're like, oh my god, I can't breathe. Unreal, ridiculous.
Yeah, I didn't do much knitting on those 2 days, I will say that. And I don't have air conditioning at home, so the one benefit to being in Arizona, of course, is everything is air conditioned. So you just stay indoors and stay out of direct sunlight as much as possible. Try to defer any activity till the sun goes down. But then coming home, my office is air conditioned, so that's fine. And really, it wasn't, I don't know. Just sit still with a fan on me.
My office is air conditioned, and I have slowly been eroding my household's anti-air conditioning stances. So we've had a unit in my bedroom for a number of years because I was just like, look, I have to be able to sleep, and if I can't sleep, things are going to get real ugly. So we've had a unit in the bedroom. Last year we had a stretch where it was going to be really, really hot, and we had some things going on that were going to require us to have to use the kitchen, and I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, we need to get a unit in the downstairs to just make it tolerable, even if it's in the low 70s. Like, fine, but we cannot I cannot have like it be 80 degrees in our downstairs trying to do some stuff in the kitchen. Like, it was not going to work. So we have those 2 units, and between those 2 and the house being shut up and blackout curtains being
and you're in the
employed,
woods too, so you don't have as much. So
we've had to take down a lot of the trees right around our house,
so we
trees. Don't actually get the level of shade that we used to. So our house is hotter too. But those little units were trucking those 2 days.
Yeah, I have ceiling fans in like 3 of my downstairs rooms.
Yeah.
And between keeping the house shut up during the day, because in the evening it did drop. So that's the real difference.
Monday night it did not. Monday night was
it went
still
down
gross.
into the 70s.
The 70s. degrees.
Yes, but in Arizona, the
No,
low
I know.
temperature was
It's like
95.
80, yeah. No, I know.
It did not, so you couldn't, you couldn't really even be out then.
Stifling, I think, is the word that we're looking for what that weather was like.
It was unpleasant here. I will
Very
say
unpleasant.
That Monday, whatever night, I got home Sunday night at to my house at midnight, and the cat was excited to see me, so he wanted to sleep next to me.
You were like, no, please move. This is not okay.
Yeah, I think Sunday and Monday night were the worst. But again,
and then it cooled off a little bit.
I was going to say, by Monday night, I feel like it got, or maybe it was Tuesday night, it got cooler. And then I just, open up the house, turn all the fans on, and it was fine.
We discontinued to air conditioning because that's how I'm rolling these days.
It's fine. I'm not opposed to air conditioning. Honestly, I just can't be bothered, and I don't really have the right types of windows that work for a window unit, so it's kind of messy. So.
Right, you'd have to put in one of those mini split kind of situations.
Well, I'm on I've been trying to get myself to do heat pumps. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Yeah. But it's
so
anyway.
it was too
and then
sports stuff was all canceled Monday because the heat index was too high.
And then Wednesday night, I think maybe, the cold front came through, and it was so beautiful.
Yep.
And Thursday morning, it was 52 degrees at my house.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was insane. Really, just whew, the whole,
Yeah. No, it's been,
and then yesterday, it got humid again in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
It was raining in the morning, and then anyway, today is lovely.
So June, for those of you that watch for many years know that June is birthday month at my house. So both of my kids have birthdays in June. So we've been doing that, though the older one sort of phased out of parties. But it's still, birthday cakes, and generally I make cakes for my kids. So we have
the first week of July is my sister's birthday. So that's always my week to bake.
Yeah. So we had one Black Forest cake. That's William's go-to.
Mm-hmm.
And then Abigail wanted ice cream cake.
Mm-hmm.
So it's doing that.
On the hottest weekend?
No, her birthday was yesterday.
Oh, right.
So she's right at the end of June.
Mm-hmm.
William's was ahead of that hot weather.
Yeah.
But still, you can run into where you're like, can we just get this from a bakery? I've had to do that once or twice, but usually I'm figuring out a way to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
And then he left. So he's been gone. He's still gone. He was supposed to be back Friday night.
It's now Sunday morning for those that are wondering.
Sunday morning. He's probably going to be back tomorrow morning. So Monday morning. 5 a.m. 5 or 6 a.m. He's been on a travel club adventure in Puerto Rico, which was awesome, and I'm so glad he signed up for it. And they flew back through Atlanta Friday night, so that was big thunderstorms. The Atlanta airport shut down. They evacuated the air traffic control tower. It was pretty crazy. So his flight back to Burlington got canceled.
And Atlanta's one of the busiest airports in the country. Not but close to.
Yeah. So tons of flights canceled, and then trying to rebook 30
And Friday night, that's everybody
people.
trying to head out for a weekend thing. It's bad. Yeah.
So they've run into some challenges trying to rebook the 30 plus people that are in his travel group. So they've gotten a little extension of their trip, complete with spending the night in an airport, and then having
maybe
to
not as much fun. As
transported into downtown Atlanta to stay in a hotel last night, and then I think they're headed back to the airport pretty soon. They have a flight tonight that will get them into Portland, Maine, which is not actually that close to Burlington, Vermont, but it's the closest
4 hours away
that they could get them to this area up here in the Northeast, and then they'll get bused from Portland, Maine to Burlington. It's been an adventure, for sure. And
for the airline not to get their luggage back, that's crazy.
Oh, yeah, and they haven't had their luggage. Their luggage is coming on a separate flight today to Burlington. So you know what? I don't know. I'm not there. I'm just providing my
Which is
child
hard for people like us who
No, I'm
travel and like to control things. For me, anyway, I like to
No.
like organize my own solution.
You-
so,
well,
yeah.
What I've been thinking in the back of my mind is, thank God I'm not in charge of that.
Or
but
you're not there
also-
because I would find it hard to not be
Yeah.
like the person trying to fix it.
Well,
Yeah.
and I think the problem is they're going through a travel
Yeah.
company.
And it's over the weekend.
And
so
it's over the
just-
weekend, and so that travel company is the one dealing with all that stuff. And realistically, trying to rebook and move
30 people.
30
It's
plus
crazy.
people around
Yeah.
is different from like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4.
I had to do it once for the trip from my office. There were 7 of us, I think,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. Ironically, we also flew to Portland, Maine. We flew to Burlington and they wouldn't let us land because the airport had closed. Somehow they didn't. It was
didn't
like 1
know?
o'clock in the morning. So they flew us to. Oh no, they flew us to Manchester, close enough to Portland. Either way.
Okay,
Yes.
a little bit closer, but
Yeah.
I
Anyway.
mean, Jen and I were talking because she and I both travels definitely way more than me, but we both like travel enough
You've had
that
to navigate this
like
before.
I start to do the calculation of like how long is it going to take me to drive, so I'm looking up like the car ride distances from Atlanta, Georgia to Burlington, Vermont, and in case you were wondering, it's 18 hours by car. So that probably would have been my solution if it was me, even though that's not really that much fun. But neither is just
But put
hanging
them
out
on a
at an
bus.
airport
Put
for
them on
like
a
2
bus
days.
and bus them up. I mean,
No. If they had put them on a bus yesterday morning,
They'd be home by now.
They'd be home.
close
so
to it. Yeah.
I don't know. Choices were made, not my decision making, not my.
And also,
deal.
who knows? I mean, the hard part, as I was saying to Ange before, is when something like that happens and the
It's
airport is
just
shut
chaos.
down, there's like
It's chaos.
1,000 people trying to make travel arrangements.
Yeah.
There are no buses left. There are no rental cars left. There are no hotel rooms left. I mean, it's just chaos.
No.
And so it's, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just I can't wait to hear about it when he gets home.
It's a good story. He'll have that story for the rest of his life.
And I think, my hope is that he's traveled enough with us and we've run into some of these situations, though this is sort of the extreme of that, that it's not
Times
gonna
30.
damage him going forward. I mean, he's gonna have to travel with us in August.
I'm sure he's a
Seattle,
kid. He'll
so.
be like a big adventure.
I would guess that there's some kids on this trip that may never fly again or travel like that again.
Well, hopefully. Yeah.
I mean, I would hope not.
Yeah.
But, what I would hope they would do is be like, well, this trip's not as bad as that one to Puerto Rico. Like everything gets compared to that.
For the best, yeah.
For the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I know. Totally crazy. So that's fun. Because it's a travel club and there's, they've been posting pictures to like the group app that's being used for communication. But then they get to the airport and this stuff starts happening and there's no pictures. And I'm like, where are the pictures of the kids like sleeping at the airport? Like those are the fun ones. Like,
well, not only that, but they don't even have luggage
I know.
to sleep on.
I know. Maybe backpack. I think most of them had a backpack and that was it. And whatever they had in their backpack.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole like not getting your luggage back thing was sort of baffling to me. It was like, why? What was that about?
Yeah. Well, and yeah, someone who wears contact lenses. It's
right.
I mean, it's
right.
Not that there aren't stores in the airport to go buy stuff, but not at 9 or 10 o'clock at night when everything starts shutting down.
I mean, Atlanta does stay open pretty late. I don't think it closes. I think it is open overnight.
Yeah, but they start.
But the
stores
start to close.
And
down.
most airports close down by like 10.
Yeah.
It depends, but yeah.
So anyway, so that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
So that's his little adventure, and I hopefully will see him tomorrow.
I had my 40th high school reunion a couple weeks ago.
Awesome. How was that?
It was fine. It was not well attended, but it was still fun to see everybody. And it was a good excuse to hang out with my girlfriends that I see quite a bit anyways.
Nice.
For the weekend, so that was
Awesome.
good. And then I turned around 2 days later and went to Arizona. As noted, it was warm
hot.
there.
Little toasty.
Yeah. The heat is a little bit... the heat is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, you can see us.
It is different.
It is different, but it's still very hot. And
Oh yeah.
it was a very nice resort. It's a little hard for me because it's hot, so they have all these air misters and like there's
Right,
just
'cause
such
it's
a
a dry
waste of
heat.
resources.
Well, but they use swamp coolers. Like it's a different type of cooling.
They had big fountains going with fire in them. I mean, it was a nice resort,
Yeah.
so it was fine. But it's hard for me to be like,
Yeah.
use your resources wisely. You are in the desert, but
sure
especially
it's
for a
all
convention of architects, it's hard not to.
recycled water, and do they have desert landscaping and things? And
It was
so
a
they're
mixture.
not-
There's a
yeah.
golf course next door. That's part of it. So
Yeah.
so not
Okay.
really.
Yeah.
So for me, it was hard to be outdoors. So
Yeah.
I walked back and forth to
Yeah.
the conference center each morning, but it was, So, and it was nice to be there. It's my first time being in Arizona. It is a beautiful landscape. It's different.
Totally different.
It's not a place
style
that
landscape.
I could personally live because it's so
Hot.
dry and barren looking.
Oh, yeah.
It's not green, but it is beautiful in its own way. I just would have liked to be able to do more. We had a little bit of free time, so the idea of like going outdoors for 2 hours and wandering around,
Doing a hike, or even just walking from shop to shop. Is
it's just too much. Or Taliesin West, which is a Frank Lloyd Wright house, is there. So the timing just didn't really work, but it was fine. It was a nice conference and a little bittersweet. It was my last board meeting for this group. So as I come off the board, so after I've been involved since 2009 maybe. So I will do a committee next year, so I'll still see some people, but it will be a different
role.
Different group of people, so it's fine. It was a choice that I made to come off. So, so that really was like the whole middle of June, I guess, maybe, which I feel like is from when we last podcast till now. And this week, between it being hot a couple nights, and anyway, I feel like I haven't slept well this week, but hopefully, yesterday I had a very quiet day.
Yeah.
But I wasn't knitting, which I probably should have been in order to get a finished object to bring with me today. However, it's fine. Sometimes it's hard to knit when it's hot out.
Yeah, doing some knitting. Friday night was just like a lost leader for me. Abigail was having a sleepover as like a
You were expecting William to come home until
her.
he wasn't, and then there was all that drama.
Well, and then you're like staying up to try to figure out, is there something I need to do to like provide for my kid? Like, and so, I didn't go to bed till like probably 1:00 on Friday night because I was just waiting for updates from him and from the program just to like, what are they doing? And then, you don't sleep well because you're like, my kid's at the airport. They're fine, but it's also, is somebody trying to get in touch with me or,
you're not there
just,
also.
But then I did kind of get up earlier on Saturday to start doing whatever I need to do to get ready for Abigail's birthday party because, so we had all these things going on. So it's fine. They slept pretty well last night. Pretty sure my kid did too. He finally got to sleep in a hotel room.
In a real bed.
After
a real shower.
I know. I was like, did you get a good night's sleep? He's like, yeah, I slept for like 10 and a half hours. I was like, okay. Do you feel better? He's like, yeah. Good.
10 and a half. Remember those days? I don't remember the last time I slept for 10 hours.
Oh,
I can't even imagine.
No.
But he is 14.
He is 14, but he's my kid that like requires sleep. Like he is not a happy camper if he doesn't get sleep. My younger one, she's kind of hit or miss. I feel like she manages it better than he does. So I was like, oh, all right, no sleep Friday night, hotel last night, tonight probably another night of no sleep. So he's just gonna come crash, I think, when he gets home on Monday. So we'll see. Fun times. So but otherwise there's been baseball, track, kid stuff, like all the things. We went to Abigail, my husband, and I went to the state softball championship game because our school was playing in the championship game and they won in like 10 innings. It was a very exciting game. But Abigail wanted to see it, so we drove to Castleton because that's where they do those at the state college down there. So that was exciting and a fun little trip for us. But yeah, it's been sports ball,
Yeah.
track, now summer track, like all the things here, there, otherwhere. And I thought this last week was going to be a little bit of a breather with one child gone.
Yeah.
So only having to manage one child.
But I think it's actually probably harder, right?
Well, what happened was I had some evening work stuff that got put on the calendar, or that I agreed to, because I knew I wasn't going to have 2 children to be managing. So I ended up with a bunch of late evening stuff this last week myself. So it was just like, and travel, like to other areas in the state for these things. So yeah, there was no breather. Like it. Like, great.
Yeah. I'm looking forward. Next week is, this will air on the 4th of July. So
July
we'll
4th,
be off for that. And then I go on vacation the following week. So that'll be really great.
Nice.
I need, I need like a real vacation.
Yeah, I
not had that.
Don't really know what that is.
A really long time. Not since, I don't remember when, but probably not since last year this time.
I was going to say, yeah.
But that'll be good.
So I would say, because we are limited with when we're yarn casting over the summer, any of you that live in the Pacific Northwest and are baseball fans, any little insights or tips you have for like where to eat or what to do right around T-Mobile Park in Seattle would be welcomed. We are going to be hitting a Mariners game when we're out in Seattle in August. And are trying to, plan the calendar and the schedule, understanding that it is not easy to get in and out of the stadium. And so I think it's an afternoon game, so I think we're looking to try to find some place to like eat dinner after the game in the general vicinity, not opposed to taking public transportation somewhere.
Hot dogs aren't good.
Well, it's with the afternoon game, like you can eat lunch at the stadium, but then the traffic situation trying to get out of the stadium.
You just want to wait until it's gone.
Yeah. We're not driving anyway. We're going to Uber in.
Yeah.
But even just, anyway. Yeah. So any suggestions people have, if that's something you do, like I would love it. So shoot me a message or drop it in the comments or whatever. I mean, we're pretty good at, I'm pretty good at navigating those, like we do them in New York City and Boston and places, but Seattle's an interesting place in terms of traffic and traffic patterns, and not the easiest to navigate in. So anyway, and my brother lives there, and he's not really a big help because they don't go to a lot of games. So he's like, I don't know. They're going too. So it's like we have this whole family situation. Anyway, it's fine. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. But I would love a local's perspective on it, even though I have a local in my family that's there who doesn't have this information. So if you are a local who partakes in Seattle Mariners games, or goes to Seahawks games, or the whatever the soccer team is, the Sounders, I think they all play like in that general area. I'd love to love some tips, tricks, places to see, to go near the ballpark. So anyway, activated the social media crew, the Yarniverse activated. So anyway, yeah. All right, we should probably get the real show on the road here, right?
Probably.
Okay.
We're going dark.
We should probably get the lights on just for.
You think?
Yeah.
They can see us. Can't you see us?
It is a little dark, shadowy.
It's because the sun went in for a minute.
Yeah.
All right, let's turn them on. They're only going to last for like 3.5 hours.
All right. Let's see. There's one. There's two.
It is nice actually now that I look and see all the lights are on because the electricians came
and fixed everything. They fixed all the light bulbs. Woo woo! Very nice.
I was kind of hoping that would mean the sensors would work better, but
nope. All right, you ready?
Sure.
Okay.